Good afternoon. Welcome to the market close. This is the last market close of June. So holy banana bread. It is going to be July pretty darn soon. We still have, of course, one more stream before we hit July. So that will be this week on Sunday. That's the last day of June. But this is it. This is it. What a red. We're having another red day. This whole month. This whole month has been pretty darn red. Um, I can't say the words "buy the dip" almost seem to be the theme for June. So yeah, it's been a fun month. All right, let's just jump right in. Take a look at the good old market. We'll see what's going on right away, right off the top. Um, a lot of red, a lot of red. So we have the TSX is down about 0.45%. The S&P 500 is down 0.23%. NASDAQ is down 0.25%. Gold's kind of flat. It is down a little tiny bit, but not much. Silver's doing okay. It's in the green. It's up 0.42%. Oil's down a little bit, almost 0.5%. And Bitcoin is it's down a little more than 2%. So not a great day on the market if you're a fan of the green. If you're looking for deals, there's plenty of deals out there for sure. And we'll definitely take a look at some of them. Another little positive. Check this out. The Canadian dollar is in the greens. We're sitting at 73.06 cents for a $1 US. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right. Let's jump into our first heat map. Amazingly enough, it's not as red as it could have been. We got a good amount of red in here. But look at this. The banks are not doing too bad. Royal Bank completely flat. Bank of Nova Scotia is up 0.29%. Great Western is up 0.63%. Sun Life is up a tiny bit. CIBC though, they're kind of the outlier. They're down 2%. So we do have that. Looking over here, both railroads are flat. I'm not going to say that they're down. I mean, it's too close to zero. Most of our energy's down a little bit, so CNQ's down a bit. Imperial Oil is down quite a bit, 1.23%. Holy banana bread! So that's a good amount. Enbridge though is doing okay. They're up a little bit, but it's kind of like, oh gosh, look down here. Look at Rogers. Rogers is down 2.22%. Nutrien down 2%. Alimentation Couche-Tard, they're down. Now, there's been a little bit of shakeup with the management of Alimentation Couche-Tard, so hopefully they get things back on track soon enough. But, you've got some buying the dip opportunity because, they were up here and then they've come down. So this is not probably a bad place to start the dollar cost averaging into Alimentation Couche-Tard if that's a stock that you're interested in. Obviously, do your due diligence before you jump on in. All right, let's head over to that ETF heat map. And holy cow, it is rare, but Vanguard, VFV is actually down. So what do you know? What do you know? And both VEQT and XEQT, pretty close. So I guess technically XEQT is winning the day. So that's not too shabby, not too shabby at all. All right, what's going on in the U.S.? The U.S. we got kind of a mixed bag once again. Amazon seems to be one of the bigger losers, down 2.04%. Meta's down 1.61%. Google's down 1%. Nvidia pretty flat. They're up a tiny bit, but I'd still say that's mostly mostly flat. There we go. Not fat. All right. United Health down here is up 1.86%. So there's a few little highlights here. All right. Let's look at crypto. We got mostly red day on the blockchains. Bitcoin down 2.11%. Ethereum down 2%. Solana, look at that, down 5.70%. Woo, what a day, what a day. And let's find some random coin I've never heard of so I can make fun of it. Yeah, that's it. That's what we're doing here. Here we go. Arkham. We'll pull this up. Arkham is down. Yeah, they're down a little bit. Well, this here says they're up. I don't know whether they're up or down. They're still showing up as red here. Yeah, they're down 1.20%. So I don't know what Arkham is. When I hear Arkham, I think of Batman and the Arkham Asylum, but I don't know what this is. Maybe you guys know what this is. There's like 14,000 different cryptos, and this is one of them. Definitely, probably not one I will ever recommend because I don't have a clue what it is. No idea. I would be shocked if one of you guys actually knows what this is without Googling it. But anyway, yeah, that's fun. Let's jump on over to the chat here for a moment. See who we have in the house. I actually expect this stream to be a little bit slower than most, because why? It's a long weekend. There's people. There might be people camp. This could be the first weekend of camping for some of you. Yeah, so it's gonna be a slower day, I think, but that's fine. That's fine. Gives you guys, those of you who are here, a chance to, just to chat and bring up whatever the heck you guys want to talk about, or whatever stocks you want me to look at, all of that fun stuff. All right, so we do have Mario in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. We got Stan in the house with a happy Friday all, and we got Al Bundy in here with a hola Al. There we go. So like I said, really calm, really calm. Now, that to me is perfectly fine. I don't mind a calm day. It's actually funny, a little quick story. So going back to my very, very first live stream, I had no clue if anybody was even going to show up. When I did my first live stream, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna talk for an hour, no matter what. If nobody shows up, I will still talk for an hour. And I was prepared for it. I was prepared. I had topics I wanted to cover. I had some content, and I was like, I'm just going to do. But once again, this is a great community. I had lots of people there. It was nice. It was a good stream, and all of the streams have been that way. So always one of those funny things. And I think the second stream I ever did, not ever did, but the second stream where I actually was wondering if anyone was going to show up, was the first Christmas Day stream I did on the first day. I'm like, let's just do it. Why not? I wasn't expecting a lot of people, but you guys proved me wrong. You guys were like there, a ton of you. It was just absolutely awesome. We got Enid in the house. Hello, Enid. Good to see you. And we got Jackie. Hi, everyone. No camping here. Rain in London, Ontario. I can see blue sky here in Ottawa. We got some blue sky, so we're doing okay. Whoops, I almost jumped over Jordan. Jordan is in the house with a hiya there, Candace. Hope you're well. I absolutely am. It's it's not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. Kevin Kaz is happy long weekend, gang. Yeah, you gotta love a long weekend. Does anybody have, like, are you guys anybody doing fireworks this weekend? I'm kind of curious. Are you doing fireworks, or do you have any kind of Canada Day plans? Or are you, I know there was a movement a few years back to sort of say, let's not do Canada Day anymore because, technically Canada doesn't own the land because of all of the things with the Native folks. So I don't know. I never know. The funny thing is, I think the last time I've actually done anything for Canada Day was when I used to live in Ottawa before this time living in Ottawa. Went to see the fireworks over the Parliament Hill. Now, that was many years ago, but since then I haven't really done much. Yes. Apparently, the tiles don't like the heat. When it gets warm, a few of them fall off, and I absolutely forgot that a few had fallen off, and I normally would go and put them back up. I'll put it back up before I do the next filming. But and I'll probably put them back up again before we do this week. So yes, we do have some, and you can see the tape still sitting there. It's like what a day. Sammer says hi all. CEU has had a couple of good days. Yes, absolutely. I've been preparing, getting ready for the next video is the 0 to 100K challenge. I will share with you guys because you guys are here. Let's do it. We have a brand new goat. We have somebody who has not been a goat before in the challenge. It's a newer stock that I think they've only been in the portfolio for maybe 3 months. But one of the newer stocks has completely taken over the goat position. I'm not going to tell you guys which one, but if you guess, if you want to guess, if you got to guess, throw it in the chat. I will. I mean, if one of you guesses it, you guys know me. I'll break down. I'll tell you. It's just that simple. Let's see. Al says, forget it is a free fries day at McDonald's today. Oh, awesome. Now, Al, being in the States, doesn't really celebrate Canada Day, but they do have their big day, the 4th of July, coming up. And I have, look at this. How long does it take? Takes no time at all. Was it BDT? Was it Bird Construction? It was Bird Construction. I think they're sitting at about a 40% return on investment in the portfolio. So yeah, good call, Kevin and Kaz. Oh man, you're the goat. You're the goat right now for that guess. Holy cow. But yeah, back to Al. I have been in the States once on July 4th and celebrated July 4th once. And probably the most spectacular fireworks I've ever seen. Not for the reasons you're thinking. So I was down in Florida around Gainesville, and we went up to some place. I can't remember the name of it. It was some lake, and we were watching the fireworks. Well, as the fireworks are starting, a lightning storm is coming in on the other side of this lake. So it's basically firework, bang, lightning, bang, and it was like they almost were working together. But it was incredible. It was really, really incredible. So that to me was probably it's probably the best fireworks display I've ever seen in my life. So I'll leave it that way. And I've seen some really good ones. Probably the top two, at least in Canada, were the fireworks show in the Canada Day one at Parliament Hill. And they did a bunch of fireworks at the Stampede once in Calgary. And I thought those were really spectacular. So Jackie says, no fireworks, having hot dog, barbecue, and chips with dip. Nice. Nice. You gotta like that. Let's see. Jordan says, I normally do fireworks. However, this year, the budget said, nope, no fireworks. Yeah, understandable. Well, they're free to watch, but I have a feeling, knowing you, Jordan, I have a feeling that you buy your own fireworks and you control the way it goes. So I'm thinking that's what's going on. Paul says, celebrate the Liberals losing the Toronto riding. Yeah, what a thing. And just listening to everybody and also looking at my YouTube feed. Because it's one of these things. Every so often, I may watch somebody who would be considered far right, just because they'll throw up some topic, and I'm just like, oh God, I got to see what this is. Now, I sit more in a central right position, but what does happen is when I watch one video from somebody who is leaning a lot more to the right, my feed gets filled with all kinds of very interesting stuff. So that's been what's been going on. And Sammer has been up as well, 38% up on Bird Construction. I know. And here's the thing. Right now, almost everything, not almost, but a lot of things are down in my portfolio. I mean, June was just not a good month at all. But Bird Construction is kind of like the one big exception, the really big exception in the portfolio. So I love that. Enid says, you guys watched the debate last night. Opinions. I got lots of opinions. On that debate. But you got to wait to the other side of the bell because we've only got 20 seconds. Not even 20 seconds. Pretty much 10 seconds. I should do the bell really hard this time because it is the last bell of June and we are going into a holiday. So I'm ready. Come on, we're down to 2 seconds. All right, here we go. All right. Yeah, I two-handed it. I two-handed that one. So, welcome to welcome to the market being closed. Mary's in here with a happy Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to you as well, Mary. And um, because it's Mary, we gotta say, hit the like button. Let's turn that like button blue. Let's just make sure everybody who's here today hits the like button. Let's just do it. We'll do it for the holiday and puppies. I don't know why I said puppies, but I will drink my coffee while you guys hit the like button. Hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I tasted blue this time. You guys are rocking. All right. Kevin Cass says, I took that one for a swing trade. You took it for a swing trade and it just keeps going up and you're like, I don't know if I want to swing because I may not be able to get back in. It's one of those things. Mario says they're both old, either president. All right, so the presidential debate. One of the things right off the bat, one of the things is that why so soon? Normally you want it at least a little bit closer to the election. So it seemed to me, first of all, odd that they had it this early. My initial impressions, Biden sort of shuffled out he kind of was walking the way you would expect somebody to be walking in the hall of an old age home. So he was, and he had some senior moments. He had a lot of senior moments in there. So I was like, yikes. Trump seemed to be more with it. He seemed to be, have better energy. But a lot of things that Trump said, you kind of had to question the truthfulness, the truthful meter. So yeah, it was kind of I thought it was an interesting debate. I think, and I'm not a Trump supporter, but I think he probably won it overall just because Biden just didn't bring enough energy. But I will give Biden credit for this. I actually found he had a little bit more energy towards the end of it than he had at the beginning. So, take that for whatever it means. There were a few times where, he just really, I don't know what the word is for it. He just really didn't seem to be 100%. So now I have heard that he may have had a cold. Maybe that's what was going on. I honestly don't know. But I watched it. I will say this of both of them. They were both a little bit more better behaved than I was expecting. So yeah, it was interesting. I will say it's interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting election cycle. I would say Trump hasn't gone full Trump yet. So we still have that to look forward to. And here's the funny thing. And I think probably the biggest lie that Trump said of the night. He said that the only reason he came back to run again was because of how bad Biden is. And I was like, no, that's not why you came back. You came back because you want that job. That job means something to you. So that's why he came back. So yeah, there were a lot of questionable things that were said definitely by Trump when it comes to, what's truthful. I would love to, and I haven't looked at this yet. I would love to see a fact checking on both sides, because I can't. I know there were a few things that Biden said that were perhaps incorrect as well. So I'd love to see that. Somebody probably has a breakdown somewhere, but I'd definitely like to see that. Let's see here. Jungle Eddie says a stuttering truth is better than 50 clear lies. Fair enough. Yeah, I would definitely say that. Kevin Cat says, yesterday was better for me with Hut on a rip in the morning And then bird construction going up. Bird construction going up as well. Not too shabby then. Ricardo is in the house. And let's see, can someone shed some light to what happened that the market flushed at 11 a.m.? The only real big catalyst that I saw today is we had GDP data drop, and our GDP kind of sucked. In fact, for May, I think we only went up 0.1%. So we're almost at that recession territory when you look at the GDP. So that's interesting. And of course, earlier in the week, we also then had inflation sort of rearing its head up again. So I think the market's just kind of in a little bit of a tizzy over that. I was hoping for a green day today, to be honest, but we did not get that. We did not get that at all. Thank you, Roku. Kiev and Kat, they wore Biden out with debate practice. Maybe they did. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. And we've talked about this the other day. I think they're both too old, to be honest. I would love to see. We had. I think there was that. I think it was it Sammer? I'm not sure if it was Sammer who said there's something about maybe a 70 limit. And I would be all on board with that. I think we just need some younger people. I have a feeling that not this election, but the next in 4 years, we'll probably have younger candidates for sure. Hopefully. Al Bundy says, Biden seemed lost in thought mid-sentence on occasions. He did, absolutely. And there was a couple times where he kind of, like I think the Medicare one, I think that was the question on Medicare. I think he got really kind of confused in there. It does happen. He also briefly slept on the stage. I didn't see him sleeping. But I could have missed that because, I was doing multiple things at the same time. So in all fairness, Sammer, they did this first debate soon to see how JB behave. And now the Democrat Party going to find another name. Yeah, well, there's going to be a second debate. I don't know when the date is on that. I hope it's a little bit closer to the election. Opposed to, because right now, whatever happens in this debate, it's not really going to impact the election per se, because nobody's going to remember it by the time November rolls around. So hopefully they have one like in the fall, like maybe October. I would say October would be the earliest. I would even say end of October, early November, just before voting. Now I'm not sure what the exact date is of the actual vote, but I just know it's November. Al says Trump was behaved because it's hard to beat a dead horse. Oh, there we go. Trump was, like I said, he was a lot tamer than I was expecting. A lot tamer. Jackie says the debate was an embarrassment to the states. Combined age 500. Let's see here. I think Trump came back to stay out of jail. Yeah, maybe. Tanya says, the president doesn't need to be a 30-year-old, but at their age, health can change dramatically in a year. Exactly. And I think what we were saying in a previous, I think it was in a market close earlier in the week, that you basically have to be in a situation where 70 would be like a cutoff for running. So let's say, for example, if you were 69 and you won the presidency, you'll still be the president until 73, but you wouldn't be able to go for a second term because you're past that 70. So I think that would be kind of a good system. I don't think we need to have people who are old enough that, things health-wise can become an issue. These are things that I think we need to sort of not have. Let's see. Al says, Trump said incorrect things because he is dishonest. Biden said incorrect things because his mind was blank and really didn't know the truth. There's a couple things I think Biden was kind of trying to pull out some answers, but what can we say? It was an interesting debate nonetheless. Ricardo says the minimum age is 45. Okay, there we go. So at least we should be able to say a max, say a retirement age of 65, and even 70. I'd be okay with 70. But yeah, yeah. I mean, and 45, yeah, that's probably a good thing. I mean, you wouldn't want to you wouldn't want somebody in their 20s, right? Being like the president of the United States. I think the 45 is fine. I'm okay with that on the bottom end, but yeah, that makes sense. Paul says, ordered something from bestbuy.ca. Where is old post number 43? I don't even know what old post number 43 is, but I'll leave it at that. Owl says, I think Trump is mentally capable of as a president. I don't think he is too old at all. Biden's mental acuity is really debatable and concerning. Yeah, there was no issues, I think, with Trump, with, how he behaved in the debate. He seemed well with it. He didn't seem like, there was no kind of senility at all. I mean, the only thing I have with Trump is that sometimes he gets ideas that are not the greatest. Probably, and this is going back to his previous term. I don't want a president who needs to ask, can we nuke a hurricane to take it out? I'm like, oh gosh, that should be like a no-brainer, in my opinion. So I found I found that a little bit just off when he said that back during his term. September 10th. Okay. Well, I would still like it to be a bit later than that, but at least it's in the fall. Well, no, technically September 10th is summer because the fall doesn't begin till like the between the 20th and 21st of September. So, oh dear. That was very enthusiastic. Oh, the bell. Yes. We went for it. Yeah, max for all jobs. TGIF. Yeah, absolutely. Hope you are all doing well and ready for Canada Day long weekend. Thanks as well for all to make this special live show happen. Got in my likes and appreciate your thoughts to Brookfield Corporation. I mean, I like Brookfield. I like Brookfield overall. One of my favorite stocks is Brookfield Asset Management, and basically BN being kind of like, I don't want to call it the sort of like the parent, but in a way they kind of are. When they created the spinoff, the new BAM, they did take all of their debt from them. So that's one of the issues that Brookfield has, is they do have a lot of debt. So with that being said, when we start getting more rate cuts, that's going to be really good for BN. So I think BN is still a really good choice for a long term. But you're probably not going to get the same returns as you're going to get with BAM initially, at least on the short to midterm. Enid says, I really felt bad for Biden. He really doesn't have the energy to run the country. Not that Trump is good. It's true. It's true. I mean, it's one of these things like, because we're looking at Biden now. And here's the thing. I mean, being the president of the United States, it's a super stressful job. I mean, that job ages you like crazy. And, does he have it in him to do another 4 years? It could be. And this is funny. I was wrong last time. When he initially won in 2020, I was thinking, gosh, he's pretty darn old. I wonder if he's going to be able to finish his term. So I was almost thinking the vice president might get a shot at it, but it didn't. He did. He surprised us. Maybe he'll surprise us again if he wins. We'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see. Paul says, I guess sales numbers are bad at the home improvement store I work at part-time. They cut 8 hours from my shifts. Yikes. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Retail right now is hurting, and that's what they're going to do, right? Their goal, I guess, if you're running a retail store or retail chain, the goal is to do it with as few manpowers as possible. So yeah, that's probably in a direct result of the fact that sales are low. And, it's been that way for a bit. All right. Now that we are caught up, let's take our final look at the market. All right, here we go. All right, it's back up. Now look, Bitcoin is slowly starting to recover over here, but we did finish the day 0.3% down on the TSX, S&P 500 41.41% down, NASDAQ 0.54% down, gold 0.12%, silver still in the green. Gotta like that. Gotta like that. WTI down a little bit, and Bitcoin still sitting at negative 2.47% down. All right. Our final look at the heat map, and you can sort of see not much has changed. We still have a lot of red still in there. Oh, look at this. Power Corporation of Canada over here. They are, oh, you guys can't see that. I'll just pull it up onto the big screen. I realized it was underneath my head. Oh, you know what? There we go. Because I had Paul's comment up, it pushed my head up even higher to block more. So yeah, Power Corporation of Canada, they're down a little bit, but this is a company I do like, and they are the majority holder of Wealthsimple. So if you like Wealthsimple, you should hopefully like Power Corporation of Canada. All right, let's go back here. There we go. Oh, you see, now you can see POW. You can see it right over here. But I think my head was blocking it before. The railroads, well, CNR finally pushed themselves up a tiny bit. So plus 0.02. When we take a look at this, you can sort of see this whole correction that they have had. But it looks like, looking at this, I'm seeing a little bit of sideways consolidation. So you might be running out of time to buy the dip on this one. But we have to see what July is going to look like. And I'll have to do a poll on this week. We'll do a poll for what you guys are thinking is going to come up in July, whether we're going to have a green or red month. And I will prefix that by saying that the markets on presidential election years, the markets have done better than the statistical average. So there is a good chance that we could get a good July, but definitely a big. I think we'll have a strong August. I will say July might start a little flat, but start to move a bit into the green, and then I think we're gonna have a good August. But we will see. We'll see how that's all gonna turn out. All right, and VFV couldn't get themselves out of the hole. What can we say? And of course, over here on the U.S. side, once again, a lot of red. A lot of the tech companies not doing so great. Even NVIDIA slipped below the zero, but there are some greens, of course. Here's Caterpillar. So Caterpillar is in the green. Yeah, you know. Actually, we did a vote once on Caterpillar. They didn't win, but you know, they're okay. Disney is having a bit of a dismal day. They have dipped below 100, 99.29. But yeah, Disney has a lot of problems. So we'll leave that. We'll leave that there. And of course, crypto once again pretty red. Not a lot to get excited about. Well, unless you have Cardano, then you have a flat day because they're at 0.00%. So what can we say? All right, let's pull back up into the chat. All right, let's see here. Where were we? Here we are. We're right over here. Enid says, is the S&P at too high a level to still DCA in VOO? Well, here's the thing. When you look, and you know what? Let's do this. Let's take a gander here. Give me a second. Let's bring our page back up. All right, we won't actually look at the S&P 500, but let's look at VOO. All right, because this is a pretty good representation of the S&P 500. Oh, I think I went into the wrong one. I did. All right. There we go. Let's go into this one here. There we go. Now we got our chart. All right, we're going to grab our 20-year chart. So you can see when you look at something like this, it's always going to go up. So here's that thing. So when you're looking at it like here, oh, you guys know what that is, right? That's a pandemic, the pandemic drop. But it always will go up. And here's the bear market. And now you can see that we've had I mean, this you can say this is a bull market for sure. Look at this. But they're always going to go up. Now, you could always be worried that, well, maybe now we're ready to go back into another drop at this point. Fair enough. But that's why a DCAing strategy means that it gives you a level of protection. So if you did go into a drop, every time you buy another stock, let's say you're buying weekly or you're buying once a month, a certain amount, you're going to be averaging down as you start moving down. But here's the thing, it really depends on what this market does. Right now, the U.S. shows no sign of really stopping. The economy is pretty strong. I have a feeling this is going to continue to go back up. So I think VOO will sort of follow that same thing with the S&P 500. And if it does correct, you're DCAing, so you're going to be fine. So I would say, I'm going to actually, let me put it this way. If anybody says to me, is now a good time to DCA into this? Yeah, absolutely. Now is a good time to DCA into any stock that you have high conviction in. Even if it's at an all-time high, right now, if you guys remember back here, so after the pandemic, it was like all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. Every day, it was a new all-time high until we went into that bear market. And right now, we're sort of in that zone. And I don't think we're done yet. So I would say, yes, it's probably not a bad time. All right. Now, Al disagrees. Al says, I think everything will pop soon. And I've heard, there are people out there that are really worried. And they're like, things are going to fall. And every so often you will hear, and this is the thing you have to keep in mind too. So for example, when you go to like a financial news, a news page. So let's go to, I'm going to pull one over here. BNN Bloomberg. We'll just drop it up here. Here we go. Oh, right away. These make big headlines. So JP Morgan's Kolanovic warns the S&P 500 will plummet 23% by year end. Holy banana bread. That would be horrible. That would be pretty much almost like going into another bear market. Is that going to happen though? Probably not. But because you have somebody who works for an establishment that's well known, and they make a comment like this, it's going to be big news because big news will sell. So in this case here, we'll go into the story. So, all right, here we go. We're not going to bring up the video, but whoops, let's see if we can do this without, there we go. So it says, yeah, the S&P 500 index may be headed for another record closing high, but JP Morgan's Marko Konovic said the benchmark will falter in coming months in the face of, different headwinds. So a slowing U.S. economy. Well, that's the thing. We have to see that first, right? We need to see the U.S. economy slow. We need to start seeing things happen. It's not like it's going to be a situation where tomorrow, you'll wake up and the S&P 500 is going to be 23% down. It's not going to happen that fast, if it happens at all. And for every person who comes out and says something like this, you can probably find 5 that are saying the exact opposite. So you have to sort of, this is where due diligence comes in. You want to start looking at the data yourself. You want to start thinking, okay, is this a possibility? Do I agree with this person? Does the data agree with this person? And then sort of make up your mind that way. So just something to keep in mind. And I don't know who that woman is talking. Oh, it's an ad. There you go. Own your own share with real share. No, thank you. I don't want to do that. But anyway, all right. Let me pull this out of there. All right. We'll bring back my big head. All right. Sammer says, I'm thinking in dumping my BNS position and buy all in BTCC. Okay. So yeah, a lot of people are, if you've been around and you've watched the price of Bitcoin after halvings, there's been some significant money being made because we do have a lot of things that come up, and there's always a delay. So when the halving happens, you don't see the price to all of a sudden shoot up immediately. There's usually at least, 4 or 5 month delay, and then you start getting all of this price action. That's happened every single time. But, and I'm going to put this out here, because it's happened every single time, it's not 100% guarantee that it will happen this time. It's a much higher probability that it will happen because we have the history to show it. And we got a lot of extra catalysts out there, but, don't count on it. So, a situation like, good example is MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy will go out and they will take on debt they will pile on the debt. Why? Because they want that money to buy more Bitcoin, because they're leveraged into this, thinking this is what's going to happen. If it happens, and I think it will happen, I know just from my technical analysis and from watching history, I think we're going to get something. But I don't think it's not going to be a situation where Bitcoin's going to go like, from 60,000 to a million. That's not going to happen. But I think it's reasonable to go from 60,000. I think it's reasonable to break 100,000. But I don't know how much more beyond that, because you have to look at Bitcoin was much smaller. It was much easier to double in price, because when you're looking at market cap, you're not looking at a ton of money to do it. Right now, we're at a situation where if you wanted to double in price, so go from 60 to 120,000, that's a lot of market cap you got to come up with. That's a lot of money that needs to get pumped into the crypto system. Not saying it's impossible, especially if you start getting, right now we do have much more institutional awareness. We have a lot more interest because of the spot, especially the US spot Bitcoin ETFs. So there is the possibility of a lot of money going in there. So yeah, always take that into consideration before you make a big move. I personally would not sell the farm and put everything into Bitcoin. Now, Sammer's talking about selling a position in one company, so BNS. That's fine. That's fine. Now, if Sammer was saying, I'm thinking of selling everything I have, taking out a second mortgage on my house, selling my car, selling my dog, because I want to put that all into Bitcoin. Well, then I'd be like, oh, that's not a great idea. That's not a great idea. Now, it could turn into a huge, big payday, but that's one heck of a risk. And to me, that would be I don't think I can sleep risk, as you're sort of sitting there and saying, this had better happen the way it always has. And I look at it this way, even if there's a 90% chance that it does, that 10% is going to nag at me. And I've seen in the charts where 90%, where 90% chance this is about to go up, and it just doesn't. It decides to take that 10% because, one time out of 10, it will. That's the way statistics work. All right. Al is saying green for July. Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking a little bit more red in the beginning of July, but by the second half of July, I think we'll make up for it. So, I am not subscribing to that 23% plummet in the S&P by the end of the year. Ian says, I have POW for a few years, up 10% plus dividends. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. FHS. I've been dabbling with Chat GPT 4.0 with data analytic and being able to upload spreadsheets for review and analysis in an instant and create a full report. Seems there are more jobs on the line, possibly. Yeah. I'm going to show you guys something here in a second. So I make these pictures when it comes to this week, because I like to have a funny little picture or just a picture to represent each news story. Well, one of the stories that we're covering on this week, I'm not even going to tell you what the story is. I will show you the picture, though. And then you guys can tell me what the story is. So give me a second. I need to pull it up. I'll pull it up first and get it into place here. All right. Let's see here. I'll actually just show you the full page. Here we go. All right. Actually, the title of the story's on it, so you're probably going to figure it out. But nonetheless, let me pull this up. So yeah, and this here is a. I'll let you guys. First person in here can have the goat. You can steal it from Kiev and Kaz if you can tell me what this story might be about. But yeah, so I came up with in my mind. I was sitting there. I'm thinking. I have an image in my mind, and because you guys know I love to use beavers in my pictures. I was like, how can I do this? How can I recreate this with beavers? And so I went to ChatGPT and I said, look, this is what I'm looking for. ChatGPT did not give me what I was looking for. So I had to basically say, okay, how can I convince ChatGPT to get this right? And it took about 4 attempts before ChatGPT figured out the image I was going for. So it worked. It worked. So anyway, Al has let's see, Sony is suing. No, Sony is not suing for royalties. So first of all, what is that image? That is an iconic image. Tell me what that image is, and that should tell you a little bit. And there's a clue right there in the title. So, we're not talking about anyway, just take a look. Tell me if you guys can figure that out. All right. While you guys look at that, holy banana bread, where the heck were we? All right. Okay, we were on here. So and yeah, so that's the interesting thing. I find it very, very useful. So before AI, I just did not have the ability to give you guys a picture for each story. I mean, I could try to pull something together, but they'd be a dog's breakfast. And I wouldn't have the time, or I don't have the finances to really, sort of commission an artist to do it. So that's where ChatGPT has been like a big lifesaver, at least for the quality of this week, because I can get these pictures made. Sometimes I may have to ask 4 different times to get it right, but I've discovered in the way you talk to it, you can usually get a good response quickly if you talk to it the right way. All right. Al says, I'm getting pummeled. I'm down 43K since June 20th. Ooh, that's big. That's big. Yeah. So Norda here has picked it up. Queen. Yeah, of course. The iconic Bohemian Rhapsody cover, and that was what I was looking at. I will spoil this story. I'm going to cover it again on Sunday, but basically, Sony has bought all of Queen's back catalog, everything. So now, if you buy, you go out and buy a new Queen album, Sony gets the money, not Queen. Queen has sold all the rights, everything. The only thing that Queen gets money for is their live performances now, but Sony will get the rest. Now it's still being worked out. Like the deal's been struck, but it will probably take probably 3-4 years to get everything all worked out and sorted out. But yeah, anyway, so that was kind of that neat thing. I was like taking the image that popped into my head. And this is what I love, because some people might say, oh, you're using AI. Well, that's like a lack of creativity. And it's like, no, it's not, because I came up with the exact image in my head. And then I had to be creative enough to get ChatGPT to make it. So, there's still creativity there. All right, all right, we'll remove that for a moment. We'll come back in here and try to get caught up here. Let's see, where's Brett? I know. Did the wormhole collapse on him? Is he trapped in the singularity? Maybe. Let's see. Jungle says experts predicted 30 of the last 20 recessions. That's actually really funny. But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot. Like take, for example, oh my God, my mind has gone blank, but well, we'll forget about that one. I was having a Joe Biden moment. That's what I'm going to call it. Anytime I forget something, it's like, I'm having a Biden moment. What is the cash stock? So, okay, let me show you. Give me a second here. I'm going to bring it up here again. All right, so cash right here. So it is a ETF. So it's called the Global X High Interest Savings ETF. So the way it works, and I'm just going to come back here to 6 months. So you can see this pattern. So how it works is if you buy it on ex dividend day, it's basically around $50 per share, and it will slowly rise. It rises up to like about $50.16. Then it falls because it pays out a dividend, and the dividend it's paying right now is 4.664%. So what it's basically doing is it's a way that you can cash. So instead of sitting on a cash position, you can instead dump it into here because this thing is just designed to do this over and over again. It's not designed to go above the anywheres. It's not designed to go below. So it's a very stable way of parking cash and at least getting something back for it. Opposed to, and some people will do this, they'll say, okay, I'm going to maintain a cash position, and they'll just sit there with cash that's making nothing. So this is at least a way to make something. So that's just, there's this one. There's other cash ETFs as well. This is just one that's called cash. So there's a bunch of them. I don't know what you guys have in the US. I think there's a couple in the US as well, but I don't know what they're called off the top of my head. All right, FHS. Let's see, was searching top growth and income ETFs benefiting lower rates via ChatGPT and for energy sector. Provided XEG. I love XEG. That's actually one of I have XEG in the 0 to 100K challenge, by the way. ENCC, another one I love. I don't have it in the challenge, but I do have it in another retirement account. It is a top covered call ETF via tracker. How would you choose which one is the best? So let's take a look here. So with XEG, you don't have a big dividend on it. It's pretty small. So XEG is more of a total return stock. So if we go to the last 3 years, and you can see at one point it exploded. I rode this up. This was fantastic. But now it's kind of tied to the price of oil. So, if once oil starts taking off, this ETF will make you a lot of money. Now, it doesn't have a big yield, so we're looking at 3.3%. So that's kind of interesting. So when you look at like ENCC, all right, we'll bring this up. This one here is a covered call. And let's go to the 3-year. So you can see in this case, it had the same ride up, but it's been moving pretty flat since then. But in this case, because it's flat, you are picking up this nice dividend yield, so 13.9%. And the reason they're able to pay so much more, of course, is the covered calls. They're pulling in all of those premiums. Now, let me confuse things a little more for you, FHS. You could also look at ENCL. All right, so this is ENCC, but with a little bit of leverage. So what this one does, it does pretty much the same thing. So if we look at the last year, in this case here, well, actually, I only went to a year because it's only been around for a bit, but this was them falling into the bull market, into the bear market. This was the bear market and oil was coming down, but they move all over the place. They're very volatile, but they have a much higher dividend yield when it comes to income. So they're looking at 17.348%. That's because they're writing covered calls and they're also using leverage. So for example, if you're purchasing, let's say you're buying 10 stocks, well, they're not going to give you the returns on 10 stocks because they're going to borrow some money equivalent to what you're basically investing. And then you're going to get all of that extra back. So you're going to get more premiums back because they're borrowing. So they're taking on leverage. So as long as it's well managed, and this is a good company, Global X, you don't really have to worry about it. There's not really that much extra risk when it comes to it. They do know what they're doing. It's not a bad way. Like if you're looking for income, and this really what it boils down to is what your goals are. Because now let's take another wild example. If the oil and gas markets, let's say oil starts going through the roof, and that happens. It does happen from time to time. In that case, the most money you're going to make would probably be XEG, because you're going to get that little, you'll get that 3% dividend, well, a little over 3%, but you'll get all of that upside potential that's happening. Whereas with the covered call and the covered call leverage, you're going to lose your upside potential, and that will push XEG in the front line. So it's kind of one of those situations where you have to sort of look at what your goals are. Now, if you're older and you're looking at, creating income, for example, retirement, then hands down, you probably want to be looking at ENCC or ENCL. But if you're not in that situation, so let's say you're younger, then you probably want to take a more serious look at XEG as well. All right, there we go. Norda and Eddie. Yeah, so the whole Queen catalog. And exactly. See, yeah, no, I like Norda. Norda's awesome. Sammer says, I like diversification. I have FBTC, BTCC, BTCY, IBIT, and MSTR. That's a good Bitcoin-related diversification for sure. Oh, cash is different in the USA. All right. I think PSA to pays a higher. Yeah, PSA is another one. So PSA, once again, let's just show you guys that. PSA, here we go. So that's the purpose high interest. So PSA, and we'll pull up the 1 year. Once again, you can see that familiar shape. So it's pretty much the exact same thing. Except for in this case here, they pay, so they're paying 5.04. So PSA, slightly better. So, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Ian says, and when I said that's what I was thinking, I was reading what Ian said. So I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, I was thinking Queen also. Let's see, is cash ETF stable 100% and will never go down? If so, do you usually max returns by entering X dividend dates? Thanks. Well, here's the reality. Let's take a look at this. When you take a look, all right, so 50, 23, and 50. So you're looking at about a 23%, that's 23%, a 23-cent swing. Well, when you look at the dividend here, it's 18.2 cents. So yeah, I mean, technically, if you played these swings, you're technically going to make a little more. But it depends on where you do it too. You don't want to do it in your TFSA because it's, especially on the shorter months, you could technically be violating that 31 day rebuy, which could then get you labeled as day trading. So that's one of the reasons I would say not to do it. But you could do it outside of your TFSA. Like if you have it in a non-registered account, you could certainly play it that way. But once again, we're talking the difference of maybe about 6 cents per share. But you could do it. You could certainly do it. And now, are they stable? That was the other part of your question as well. So if you look at this one here, you can see that they have been, they've been stable for 3 years. 5 years and 10 years. But what you will notice is that their swings over the month have gotten a little bit bigger. But the actual lower, the normal price, has been sitting around $50 the whole time. So stable, they have a history. So I don't see that as being an issue. And even if you look, 2020, March, here's March in here of 2020. You don't see that pandemic problem. That big drop from the pandemic, it's not here because these are designed to be stable. They're designed to be used as a place to park cash. Because in a sense, what you're basically doing, in this case, if you think about it, you're lending Purpose money. You're saying, okay, here's my money, and Purpose can then use that money to make more money. And usually they're making more money than what they're giving you. They're giving you 5%, but they might be making 8, 10, maybe 15%, depending on what they're doing with it. So just something to keep in mind. All right. Ian says, I think AI will really be useful for dubbing movies into different languages. Oh, absolutely. I was actually talking about that uh, earlier today. Let's see, it can do impersonation of voices, would be like auto closed captions, but better. Yeah, it's one of these things. Like, I don't like watching dubbed material, and it's not, you know, they have, like, you take South Korea. South Korea has some really, really good, some really good content, but I can easily find myself getting pulled out when the mouth and the dialogue is just not matching up. Well, AI can, of course, fix that, and that will be, to me, that'll be a game changer, because that will be like a ton of great movies, great TV shows from all around the world that I will now have access to. So I think that would be, really awesome. Ian says, I put some money into Wealthsimple Cash, pays between 4 and 5% depending on how much you have with Wealthsimple. Why not do that instead of cash? Absolutely. I mean, there's many different options. This is just one. So, for example, people who don't have Wealthsimple, they may not have that option, but you could certainly park it into something like Wealthsimple, or you could use one of these ETFs. So there's definitely a lot of different methods you can do. But whatever you're doing, I would recommend that you basically look at making at least something off of your money that you're not using. All right. Let's see. The dividend fluctuates every month in PSQ, or sorry, PSA. We're in PSA. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at that. We'll go into key data and see, this is one I don't use. And you're right, it does. So that's interesting. Now, that probably means when they're taking your money, if they're making a lot of money, they probably give you a bigger piece. That's all that would typically mean. So just something to think about. Oh, and we got Kevin, a Vancouver Isle guy. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Are you AmVas? And if so, why did you change your name or account? I do not know. I do not know. Are there any other high interest bank accounts that pay 4% or higher, like Wealthsimple in Canada? Another good question. Another good question. All right, Kitten. The kitten is just sort of roaming over there. I was just telling her not to get in the way of the filming and all of that fun stuff. All right, guys, if you got any last minute questions, we're coming up on the end of the stream. Get them in quickly. I'll have a slip of coffee here. Hey, kitten. Hey. Yeah, if she would come closer, I'd grab her and show you guys the kitten, but she's sort of hanging out, doing her own little thing over there. But you might, I don't know if you can hear her. She's just purring. Turn the mic towards her. Let me know if you can hear that purring. I think it's a pretty loud purr, so. But, oh, actually, I can do this. Well, there she is. Just watching. It's like, oh, I'm a star. I'm a star. There we go. Eek. There we go. All the fun stuff. FHS says, I'm still not sure of the security with ChatGPT, and to obtain an account, it requires a Google email. So I switched my account. Do you have any concerns with security using it? No, but I mean, I'm not putting anything into ChatGPT that I would consider like personal information. For the most part, like I said, I use it for drawing images, things like that. Or sometimes I might say, okay, like if I need a little piece of information and it's in the middle of a giant web page, I might import that whole page over and say, hey, could you just quickly summarize this page for me? So that's kind of interesting. Would you ever consider translating your videos to another language? Yes, absolutely. So what I'm waiting for on this one is AI, honestly, because then AI will be able to do it nice and easy. And I think that would be kind of good, because then probably when we get there, I think the first thing I'll probably do is look at French, because, those are the two main languages. Then from there, it really comes down to What would be the next biggest language that I would want to do? Probably Spanish, and then maybe even Chinese. So, but yeah, the idea has popped into my head, and eventually it will happen because, I would love to be able to, provide information to anybody in whatever language that they have, or we are in Canada, maybe some of the Inuit languages, if that could be done, that would be cool. I would even watch myself in Inuit. I wouldn't understand me, but I'd do it just because I think it would be neat. Um, let's see the idea. And by the way, Candace, can you tell me other high interest bank accounts in Canada? There's not a lot high interest in bank accounts, so you can get some good high interest introductory offers with a lot of banks. So they'll give you a high interest rate for like your first maybe 6 to 9 months, but then after that, it usually falls down to pretty dismal interest. Now I use something called EQ Bank, and they tend to have a half decent interest rate, but I honestly don't even know what it is anymore. At one point it got up to 4%, but I think it's probably closer to 2.5 or somewhere. Somebody confirm what the interest rate is for EQ, by the way. And Hello Kitty, yes. Oh, she's gone now. I don't know where she is. There we go. Let's see. EQ Bank has good high interest savings account. EQ. And Tanya's saying between 4.5 and 5. So there we go. Okay, has a new option for notice savings account, and I think EQ as well offers more interest if you have like a direct deposit or something like through your work. They're called Equity Bank. They're an online bank, so you've got no fees or anything like you have with normal banks. So it's I like them. I use them for they are technically my main bank. What does EQ Equity Bank Equity. So, well, here, let me just pull this here up. If you want to go to, and I'll just go EQ. There we go. So this is at EQ Bank right here. So it's eqbank.ca. And it's basically, let's see, earn up to 7 times more interest than other banks, all of that fun stuff. You got a 1-year GIC right now is 5.05% interest. But so right now your personal account, so 4% at the moment. There we go. Joint account 4%. They also have a US dollar account, so they've got they got a lot of options. All right. Yeah, exactly. Have you ever done a video on factor ETFs? No, I haven't. And speaking of videos, I did add over on Discord a thread where you can put video ideas. Like if you're like, I want to see a video on this, you can go over and put that in. No guarantee I'm going to do it because I'm not giving everybody a chance to. I'm not going to like put up all my videos for voting. I let you guys vote on the deep dives, but if you put an idea over there and I look at it and I'm like, ooh, this is a good idea, I'll do it, and I'll give you a shout out. Unless you sort of put up a good idea and say, please don't give me a shout out, then I won't. But I will certainly, because I look at it this way. When it comes to knowing what you guys want, nobody knows it better than you guys, right? So I thought I'd do that. And I think I've got a few things over there already in the list. But yeah, so it's going to be cool. Kevin says the idea, and by the way, in my best Joe Biden voice. oh, she is a very cute cat for sure. There would be a few retirees, English not the first language, who may benefit with your retirement videos. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No, I would very much, ideally, and we're not that far away from it with AI. Ideally, we'll be able to, and I even suspect YouTube will probably incorporate this into YouTube, where I can, upload a video in any language and have them just have the AI automatically just translate it to every language imaginable. I'm looking forward to that. I think it is. That's why I'm so excited about AI. There's just so much potential there. I like their new commercials. We're talking EQ Bank. I've not seen any of their commercials. Huh. I kind of want to see one now. I kind of want to see one. Let's see. Jizzy Singh says, what are your thoughts on Nike down 20%? Is Nike close to a buy at $75? Well, let's take a gander. Let's take a look at Nike. All right. Come on, Page. Page does not want to load. Oops, I should bring it up so that you guys can see the white screen I'm looking at. I'm just going to reload into the page. Here we go. Nike. All right. Oh, look at this. Look at this drop. Wow. That makes me think they had an earnings call. And I recall seeing that they missed earnings. So that's probably what's happening. So is Nike a good buy at this price? Yeah. Let's take a look here. Let's gander. I mean, you can see this is the bear market, and then now with the economy being the way it is, people are not spending money on expensive things like shoes. Well, obviously they're buying shoes if they need them, but you're not getting as many people going out just to buy an extra pair of sneakers or going crazy on brand names. While there's a lot of people who are struggling with the economy, with inflation, all of that fun stuff. So it has hurt a lot of retail, including Nike. So what I would say with Nike is when you look, and let's go even further out. So if you look at this price it's at right now, the last time it was at this price, well, okay, that was the pandemic drop, but let's go out further. All right. So this is a price that they really haven't been around there. You can definitely say 2018. So they're at a low that they haven't had in forever. They will rebound when the economy improves. So this to me is, don't expect a short-term fix, but if you have high conviction on Nike, this is not a bad place to start doing a dollar cost averaging in. I think, another 5 years from now, or even 3 years from now, they're probably going to be back up, or I would say at least above 100. So I would say, I would agree. I would definitely agree. Oh, there's Schitt's Creek's commercials. Okay. That'd be funny. I know I saw a commercial the other day. It was Modern Family. They actually did a scene for Modern Family for a commercial. And I was just like, it was actually funny. And I was like, that's a great commercial. Bringing back an old sitcom and doing a scene. Why not? And it sounds like they may have done the same thing with Schitt's Creek. So that would be funny. I have to go find that on YouTube. Thank you for pointing that out, Norda. I appreciate that. Enid says, let's see, Joseph Clarkson has a good video about Nike today. He said it is a lost cause. I don't think Nike's a lost cause, but I would still do your due diligence. But from what I'm seeing, just looking at the chart, and if we go into Nike a bit deeper, so let's just go in here. All right. So look at this. They still have a very healthy return on equity, very healthy return on assets. Their debt is manageable. We're looking at basically an 85% debt to equity ratio. So that's not too shabby. So I would say that they're still a healthy company. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they're going to struggle for a little bit. But once that economy starts picking up, once we start getting people spending money again, they'll be fine. They will be fine. So they're not a lost cause. That would surprise me. That would surprise me big time. Jizzy says, yes, it's a premium company at intrinsic value, which is very rare. And Nike does not seem to be going anywhere, and they have almost no debt. Yeah. No, Nike is a good company. Like I said, I think $75 is a great place to start DCAing. Heck, even if it was a situation where I just wanted to buy a big chunk of Nike, I'd do it. I would certainly do it. And the funny thing is, I'm starting to think about my buys in July. I may keep my eye on Nike because maybe I'll add them to the challenge in my US part of the portfolio because, I do think there's something there. All right. Oh, here, hand me this. So I just bought something here for the, try to make things a little bit easier on my thing. Let's go to big screen. Oops. I don't want to remove me. It's for the microphone. So what this is going to do is when I edit, you know how you get these little lip smacks that are like, I don't know if it's like that, but there's just these little things. And I have to edit them all out when they happen. So this thing here will protect it. So yeah, like it'll sit in front of the mic, actually the mic up there on the boom. You can't really see it. Well, I can tip it up there. You can sort of see, there it is up there. So it'll sit on that and it will filter those out. So that will save me probably about 20 minutes in the overall time it takes to edit a video. So, you know, nothing wrong with that. Okay, here. Let's see, we can't see it even though you posted it and it's not your chat screen. We can't see it unless you're a moderator or channel owner. Okay. There we go. Oh, did you post a video link up there? Yeah. It's one of these things. I think YouTube filters pretty much everything out. Like, quite honestly, if you came into chat and you were to let out a string of profanities, you probably won't even make it into the actual into the actual chat. It will just filter you right out. YouTube is good that way, which is kind of neat. Like, I never used to have a filter. And then I used to get a lot of these trolls that would come in and start trying to convince people to go off to different porn sites in Russia and things like that. And so I turned it on. I'm like, I'm not having that in my chat. Because otherwise I'd have to get a bunch of moderators to sit there and try to remove those as I came. So I turned it on and it's been perfect, which is fantastic because, you know, it's great. Like, one of the things I don't want to do is I don't want to turn it on to subscriber only mode. Like, I like that somebody brand new can come in and just start talking and asking questions. So yeah, that has helped big time. And that's the thing too. When you leave when you leave a message on a video, you want to be careful. For example, if you put a link in it, it probably won't even make it. Like, I won't even see it. Sometimes I do. Sometimes it will go into occasionally it goes into this one where I can go in and I can then approve it. But most times it will actually delete it and I can't see it and I can't respond. I can't do anything. So, and you know, that will happen if you put a link. So sometimes, and here's the thing, it's not even so much a link. So let's say you want to say, look at BTD or BDT.to. It sees that .to and it thinks it's a link. So sometimes that'll happen by putting it in. So usually what I would say is just put in, you know, some people already know this. They put in like dot instead of the period. You know, now I can put the dots in my reply. So that's always cool because I can give you guys that and I can give you like a link or things like that in a reply. But it will do that. And I think also profanity, if you use profanity, you know, like sometimes, and you may be a person who's like, I use profanity a lot. That's my normal way of talking. Cool. No problem. But if you, in a comment, if you say, you know, that was effing great, it probably won't make it. YouTube will get rid of that on you. You know, just the way it is. All right. Al says, yeah, I read Nike didn't make earnings and is projecting to be poor for a long time. Well, they're struggling. They're struggling. Once, of course, people start buying again, and people start to get a little bit more disposable income, they will be fine. But for now, they're in a good buying zone. Jonathan, one of the things I love about this stream is that it never gets too shabby. Well, we try not to. We try not to. All right. I just forwarded the YouTube regarding Nike. Yeah, throw it over on the Discord. If you throw it over on the Discord, then, you know, we'll, you know, anybody can go and take a look at it. I know we're getting there. You know, we're currently right now, we're sitting at, let me take a look here. I'm just going to update it. Oh yeah. So we're sitting at 39.22. So that means we need 78. So 78 more subs. And then we get the open to close market stream. That will be epic. That will be epic. Yeah, it will have. I no doubt it will happen in July. Um, I linked a few Rick Astley YouTube videos on YouTube comments for a week nonstop. I got banned. They said you are not allowed to link sites out of YouTube. Ah, yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Um, yeah, I have a good sense of humor. Like if somebody Rick rolls me, I laugh. I find it funny. So feel free. This is a challenge. Here's a challenge. Um, I want one of you on the Discord to trick me into watching a Rick Astley video. Let's see who can do it first. And it probably won't be hard. But I'm curious to see. It's a challenge. I want to be Rickrolled over on Discord. Or if you want, you can Rickroll me over on Facebook. I don't care, but Rickroll me. Just let's see if somebody can do it. Somebody can pull it off. And I said, it won't be hard. Al said, yes, please throw it at Discord. There we go. Perfect. All right, everybody. We've hit the end of the line, but you guys have been awesome. Have a fantastic long weekend. I will be, of course, back here on Sunday. So we'll have this week. So I'll get to wish you a happy Canada Day then because, you know, it's the next day. Until then, you guys have a fantastic week. I already said that. Let's not just say it all over again. I'm having a Biden moment. I need to copyright that or something. Anyway, until then, take care. We'll see you guys again on Sunday. Bye, everybody.